Hey loves, welcome back to the channel. It's Deborah here with Steward Well Budgeting, and it's been a minute, but we are back and we are better than ever. I pray that you all have been well. I pray that God's blessing and His favor has been over your life. These weeks have been a whirlwind, but we are here, and we thank God that we are still here. I hope that you all have still been on your financial stewardship journey of stewarding your finances well, managing your money, budgeting, saving, paying off debt, upping your credit score, the whole 9 yards. I just hope that you all have been doing well in your family and your finances. Listen, we're back today, and it's a face-to-face conversation. Okay, so that means we're going to get into something really, really good today. Okay, today we're going to be talking about the type of money personality that we have, and I have my notes here because I want to make sure that I don't mess up, because y'all know I can ramble. Okay, it's been a minute, but your girl hasn't changed. Okay, you know I can ramble, so I have my notes just to make sure that I stay on track. But I've been doing a lot of self-examination, and I've been doing this financial stewardship journey for a long time, and I've officially launched my business, Steward Well Advisory Group, and I'm working with a lot of my clients now. And one thing that I have been paying attention to, and that I've learned, especially as I'm getting more into finance, is that we all, each and every one of us, has a money personality. We all do. And so I was like, you know what? I want to bring a video because I want to see what my Steward Well Budgeting family, what category of a money personality do they fall into? So you may have seen a short where it took a poll, but I'm going to kind of get into a little bit more of what those money personalities are. So on this channel, we do all things: savings challenges, money management, debt payoff, budgeting, cash stuffing, the whole 9 yards. If that is content that you're into, I have a cash stuffing video that I recorded and never brought to y'all. It's my fault. I'll bring it to y'all in the next video, okay? But all the things, if that is content that you're into, feel free to stick around for the remainder of this video. But before we hop into this video, y'all, let's get those numbers up. Let's get those numbers up. Go ahead, like, comment, and if you have not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Share it out to your friends and family so that they can find out what their money personality is, because that honestly can be the difference between whether or not they're successful in their journey of stewarding their finances well or not. So let's get into the beginning of today's video. Let's go. Okay, so first and foremost, when it comes to money personality, it talks about our attitudes and the habits that we have when it comes to managing our money, right? So what we do and how we think while we're managing our money. So there are 4 different types of money personalities, and then there's a 5th one that we'll get into, but standard there's 4, but we're going to talk about a 5th one as well, okay? And the first one that is up on the chopping block, let's start off small. Let's do the saver, okay? The saver. Now I want you to think about what you think this money personality does with their finances. I'm pretty sure you can guess, right? They save everything. They are very, very careful with how they spend their money and what they spend their money on. They are the frugal friends, if you will, or, the frugal Franks for our guys, right? They're the ones that are looking for the birdie way out. And the birdie way is what I got from A Different World, if you watch that. And they're coming out with another Different World, but that's neither here nor there. I will be watching. But a birdie is cheap, 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 cheap. They're cheap, 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 cheap. You understand? Cheap, 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 cheap. My voice is gone, but cheap, 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 cheap. They're cheap. Okay? That is what a saver is. They look for every opportunity to put money to the side. This can be good. However, the con to this kind of a money personality is that you have to be careful that you're not robbing yourselves of the joys of life because you're trying to save every single penny. One thing that I understand on the stewardship journey is that we don't live like YOLO, right? We don't say you only live once, so let's just splurge everything now. We'll get into that personality in a second. But we are definitely not the type of person, well, we definitely don't want to be the type of person where we don't get to enjoy the pleasures of our life because we're so hung up on the future that we don't get to enjoy the present. So that's the first type of money personality that we're talking about, is the saver. Okay, now moving on. The second personality type, money personality type, is the investor. Okay, the investor, that sounds very self-explanatory, right? They are the ones who are okay with taking financial risks. They do not mind it at all, okay? They're like, look, I want my money to make me money. So they look for different ways to invest their money so that their money can grow and accrue for them and, bring them in more money. So that's what they're looking for. That's what the investor is. And the thing about being an investor, and this, when I say that these are your personalities, this is what you are clinging to, right? Okay, because we're going to get into another personality later on that kind of incorporates all of these, but when I say that it's a money personality, that means that person is hung up on investing. That person is hung up on saving, right? This is the extreme of their life. Now, investing is good because investing can produce return, okay? You can get a return on your investment. However, the con of this type of personality is that you don't want to be too risky with your money, right? Because there is a possibility that you can get more money on top of the money that you've invested, but there's also a possibility that you can lose everything that you've risked. So you don't want to be so much of an investor that you don't consider that the extreme side of that means that you're tying up a lot of your money that you may or may not get a return on. In fact, you may incur a loss instead. The third type of money personality is the spender. Okay, listen, I think at some point we all have been guilty of that. Whether you are just getting into your journey now or whether you were doing that in your youth, listen, we have all just been the big spender, okay? And we have just spent. And I don't want to say we all, but majority of us, right, have been the spender at some point in our lives where it's just like we have no care in the world. We're not worrying about tomorrow. We want what we want right now. The spender is the type of person that loves using their money, okay? They are going to spend that money right away. That is, the spender is the impulsive buyer, right? Ooh, I see that. I have to have that right now. We all can guess what the con is of that type of personality, right? The con for that personality is if you spend everything now, if an emergency comes up, if something happens in your life, you're not going to be able to handle that, right? If all you're doing is spending your money, what happens when a crisis comes? What will you have in reserve if you spend all of your money? So that's a con with that personality. And the fourth one, I think is the best one. The fourth one is the best one that I think that honestly we all should try to be, and it's one that I myself am. It's one that I don't want to say I myself because I obviously, right? But this fourth one is one that I am trying to master for myself, right? And that fourth personality is the balancer, okay? The balancer. The balancer is literally what it sounds like. It's the person who has a balance of each of the personalities. They save, they invest, and they spend. They try to have a healthy balance. They realize that, listen, I get that I have to prepare for the future, so I'm going to save. I get that I want my money to make money for me, so I'm going to look for good investments. And I also, at the same time, want to still enjoy the life that I live. And so I'm going to do a little bit of spending. And so that is what I'm trying to navigate. For me personally, before I started this finance journey, I was a spender. Big spender. I'm telling you, couldn't hold a dime if it was glued to my hand. Do you hear me? I was a very big spender. But getting into this financial stewardship journey, it made me just realize, like, no, like, you have to account for every aspect of your life. You cannot afford to make impulsive decisions. You really can't. And I found myself a lot of the times having buyer's remorse after I bought something, because no lie, it would sometimes be like, oh girl, you could have saved it. Don't be rude. Oh girl, you could have saved that for something else, right? You could have, used that for something else. Like, you did not have to spend all of that money. And, that feeling would last for a little while. And sometimes I would go and cancel the order before it shipped and get my money and all of that back. But most times I was so stuck in spend, live for the now, that I did not factor in the future. And so I was just that big spender. And honestly, for me, I don't know where your personality may stem from for you, because we all have different life stories, different life experiences. So my personality may not be the same as your money personality, right? So for me, I know, especially when I finally got out of high school, I was finally an adult, and I dealt with homelessness in my early teens and my early adulthood, that I was like, once I got, money coming back into my pocket, spend everything, right? Because for me, it was like, I got to replace everything that I just lost. Like, all the clothes that I lost from, losing the home, got to get it back. I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to break this feeling of hopelessness that I had. And so spending became my way out, and I did a lot of emotional spending. And so that was the personality that I had developed. But growing up and maturing in my adulthood, I had to realize, like, no, you have to be more mindful, because if you keep spending, you're only one missed paycheck away, or you're only one emergency away from ending back up in that same situation. And what will you have learned from that? And so those are the top 4 money personalities. 1, we have the saver. 2, we have the investor. 3, we have the spender. And then 4, we have the balancer. Now, I'm going to give you a last one, which is a bonus. And this one is the avoider. Okay. Just like the spender, this is an extreme that you do not want to be in. The avoider is the type of person that avoids money decisions altogether. They don't consider investments. They don't consider saving. They'll spend here and there, but they don't look at their finances. They're just, it is what it is. Life is going to happen. They avoid paying attention to their money, their present, their future at all costs. And this has a major con, because at the end of the day, life happens to us all. And we want to make sure that we are prepared. So if you have the money personality of a saver, I want you to put that down in the comment section. If you have the money personality of a spender, I want you to put that in the comment section. If you have the money personality of an investor, I want you to put that in the comment section. If you have the money personality of a balancer, I want you to put that down in the comment section, okay? And if you are an avoider, if you can be honest with yourself, I want you to put that down in the comment section. And if you find yourself as a balancer now, were you always a balancer? Did you have to develop to that point? If so, what was your initial money personality? Okay, that's all that I wanted to talk to you about. It was something that was so interesting to me when I come across it, and I was like, you know what? That is so good to look at. And so I wanted to just come and talk to you all today and see, what is your money personality? I think that at some point we all should strive to be a balancer. That's just my own personal financial stewardship coach opinion, is that we should all strive to be a balancer. But I'm curious about what my community has gone on. What are your thoughts? What are your perspectives? Share with me down in the comment section. And that's all for today's video. I know it's not a long video, but I wanted to come and talk to you and just bring y'all what was on my heart. So until next time, you all go and be well. God bless you.